Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessed Mess Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we're reading from Daily Reflections, page 221. They're reading for July 31st. A prayer for all seasons. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. It's from the AA 12 and 12, page 125. The power of this prayer is overwhelming in that its simple beauty parallels the AA fellowship. There are times when I get stuck while reciting it, but if I examine the section which is troubling me, I find the answer to my problem. The first time this happened, I was scared, but now I use it as a valuable tool. By accepting life as it is, I gain serenity. By taking action, I gain courage, and I thank God for the ability to distinguish between those situations. Sorry. I can work on the things I can change, and those I can't, I must turn over. All that I have now is a gift from God, my life, my usefulness, my contentment, and this program. The serenity enables me to continue walking forward. Alcoholics Anonymous is the easier, softer way. Yeah, that's a mindset coaching like trick almost to show someone what they're doing. Is that we if you think you're doing we think we're choosing the easier, softer way when we give in to our disease, but we know that there's wreckage that comes from it. But we balk at the work of the 12 steps. But if we do it, we realize that it is the easier, softer way, because life becomes more livable, more manageable, more doable, and fuller of love in life. And so it's just a funny thing that we convince ourselves when we have that short-sightedness that our disease causes, we forget, or we just don't know that what we think is true, what we think to be the easier, softer way is not. And I love how yesterday's and today's episodes tie into each other with the theme of acceptance and action. And the beauty of the Serenity prayer is this is like the best boundaries prayer that exists out there, right? It's all about knowing what's my side of the street and what's not, and allowing ourselves to listen for God to tell us what it is, and then having the trust to act on that. And it's kind of beautiful. And I actually I heard a longer version of this prayer, which I thought was kind of beautiful. And so I want to find it for you guys right now, but you're going to have to bear with me while I look it up. And so here we go. The long version of this. Oh, there's a website called Sober Speak. I'm just teaching you guys about all this stuff out there that I don't even know about. Oh, very interesting. I don't know anything about it, but it looks cool. All right, the long version of the Serenity prayer. You guys ready? Here we go. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever and ever in the next. Amen. That is beautiful. I haven't read that in a while, and I want to put that up on my wall. I think the thing that really jumped out to me there is this part. I want to find it. The part where it talks about taking things as they are. So it says, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. I was like, oh, like even God takes the world as it is. He doesn't step in and say, you're doing it wrong and you need to do this right and you're causing all sorts of problems. He doesn't do that. He takes it as it is, and he gives suggestions to those who are, well, he gives suggestions to everybody, and if you're willing to receive it, it can change your life. But I really like that. There's just this, like, even God has acceptance about the state of the world, about circumstances. And he has serenity over it. And he just sees it. He's like, I can work with that. And I can work with that. And I can work with that. There is nothing that he can't figure out. And there's nothing that your higher power will just throw up his hands over and say, yeah, it's too much. You're too far gone. And also, just for me personally, with the faith aspect of this podcast, one of these last lines that says, so I may be reasonably happy in this life. I forget that the purpose of this life is not to be supremely happy. It doesn't mean I'm doing it wrong if I'm not outrageously happy all the time. That the goal is to be reasonably happy in this life. And I can work around my acceptance with that, because that's not what I want it to be. I want it to be great all the time. I want it to be Christmas every day. I want it to be the pinnacle all the time. And I think that's part of my disease. I think that's another, cognitive distortion that I live with and have to work through and surrender and all that stuff. But I just want to remember that. So I'm going to read it one more time, just so that you guys can let the words settle in as I leave you for the day. So here we go. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever and ever in the next. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.